Hey guys, welcome back to another draft analysis. This is Fnatic versus LGD Gaming number 2, and if you want to watch the previous draft analysis, you can check out game 1 in the link below, or I don't know, YouTube is being weird. But anyways, with me again is ShredKid, and if you have not watched the previous game, it was casted by AC and Draskell. Fnatic managed to take game 1, and Fnatic were looking very strong in this group, but right now, LGD, they have the second pick side, and it seems like the second pick sides are doing a lot better in this tournament. Is there any specific reason?
I think it's just drafting preference for teams. Also, it could be, and this is really hard to talk about because there's so many variables, it's ridiculous. But it could be the Obsidian Destroyer, the second pick, because if you don't first pick an OD, and I don't think he's necessarily first pick worthy, you can counter whatever they have really hard with an OD, shore up his weakness with the tree pick or whatever, or get a core that needs to be countered immediately, or like some counter carry or support that needs to be dealt with, and then they can't use their second pick on it, and then you just ban out the OD counters. Maybe, that's my guess. I don't know if the stats back it up, but it's my just random thought about it.
So before we get into analyzing the picks, let's look at the bans. They're exactly the same. Alright, we analyzed them.
Well, that's actually a little bit weird because the first pick and second pick swaps, but the bans remain, both teams ban the same things. LGD is obviously showing respect to the Western Wisp and to the Nakes, which Fnatic run really well. And I guess Fnatic really don't want to play against Alchemist or Darkseer. That LGD has, at least, because LGD's Alchemist just destroys everything. And I don't know that much about their Darkseer, but they prefer easy-to-execute teamfight lineups, and Darkseer's pretty much that in a nutshell,
So before we get right to the picks, or actually we can just talk about the picks while we're doing this. So OD was the opening pick above Fnatic. Again, this is what they did last game, and LGD responded with Dragonite as well as Visage. So here's the not really $1,000,000 question, the $20,000 question. Batrider, where are you at? Why do you think these guys put as much priority? Because LGD, I guess they knew last time they ran Batrider, and he can't win mid against OD. He won't be able to do as much in the safe lane, and Era can just dominate them, so maybe that's the reason why, but if they put Dragonite mid, he's going to get beaten as well.
This is a really clever first pick from Fnatic. I don't think they value that highly themselves, do they? Like, I don't
think so. I think, yeah, Trixie doesn't play Bat, and I think Hani usually plays it, but yeah, they actually don't really value Bat at all. I can't really remember the last time Fnatic did Bat.
So, check it out. They pick OD, they're trying to bait the Batrider pickup. LGD doesn't fall for it. This is smart from LGD to not fall for it because they lost the exact same way last time with the Bat against the OD. I didn't see the game, but I'm guessing it was really hard to kill people when OD was disrupting Bat targets. So LGD doesn't take the bait. They're going to pick a Dragonite and Visage. And this is curious because I don't understand why you would pick a Dragonite after an OD is picked, because OD just wins mid so hard. And I'm pretty sure LGD isn't going to safe lane the Dragonite because I don't think they do that. So the Visage, I think, is just generic, great support, awesome at everything, and that's why they picked it. But I don't understand the Dragonite, so maybe that'll become clear as we move through.
Yep, so we're going to unpause in 3, 2, 1, yada yada. Pausing, or unpaused. Anyway, so LGD picked up the Dragonite and Visage as well, and they're facing the OD. So Fnatic pretty much play the same. They're going to pick up the Weaver here, and I really don't see... I think it worked for them in game 1, so Weaver would seem pretty likely here, in my opinion, just because Fnatic seems like the team that says, alright, we're keep going to run the same stuff until you show that you can beat it, especially in group stages where they have a really big advantage, since it seems at this point they're almost guaranteed top 4. Actually, I think they only need to lose like one series, or win one more series, and they win game 4. But they're going to pick up the Batrider here, so I think they realize, or they think that Batrider is too valuable here to pass up, but I think they could have just banned Bat if they... Why do you think they picked up
I don't think
Bat?
they need to ban Batrider, because LGD wouldn't pick it, I think. At least until way later when they knew that it would be safe. Because, I mean, if LGD didn't already get Batrider, and when they had to pick and like get DK over Bat, they don't want Bat.
That's true.
So Fnatic didn't have to ban it. I think they just wanted it themselves.
So I guess now they have initiation, but I mean, if you initiate on LG's targets, they're annoyingly hard to kill. But I mean, everybody falls during the lasso, so Right now, LGD, they banned out the Chen, so it seems like they're making some adjustments compared to the last time. It seems like they want to have a bit more mid-game sustainability as well as mid-game team fight, which Fnatic really thrived upon. So I guess they want to be more useful in the mid-game. Even if they do lose the lanes, then they can actually do stuff in the mid-game. And meanwhile, Fnatic ban out the Nyx, and I guess respecting that mana burn, and ban out the Gyrocopter. So these seem to be very similar thus far by both teams, but, I mean, it's difficult to say who has the advantage straight up at this point. I think you gotta say Fnatic just in terms of lanes, but in terms of mid-game, I don't know.
There aren't enough solid heroes to be banned out. Like, there's still a lot of options left in the pool for both teams, so this could go either way, definitely. I think that Chen was banned because I'm guessing Chen did work last game. Like, that's the only thing I can really think of. Well, LGD also doesn't like to aggressive tri-lane that much. So if they're going to safe lane, like Chen's a really good way to punish a safe lane tri-lane against an offlane solo. And yeah, that would probably be it. They're probably setting up a safe lane. And the gyro's banned because I can't really, like, there is nothing that stands out, but I'm guessing it's just a solid pick. And they just want to shut down options. Okay, Weaver's picked up makes sense just because I explained the Batrider Weaver interactions and it's pretty shitty for Batrider. And Odie doesn't do that much against Weaver because you just time-lapse the ult, so.
I mean, does this give away a bit too much of LGD's lanes? Because now you know for sure Dragon Knight's going to be mid.
Well, you already knew Dragon Knight was going to be mid. Chinese teams don't run him as a safe lane farmer.
That's true, that's true. So, they just want...
probably a hard farming Weaver. If it was any other team from the West, I would say probable aggressive tri-lane, but I don't think so.
5 seconds remaining.
So right now, Fnatic, they have their mid in the form of OD. Most likely, Batrider will probably be off lane. Probably, for sure. So this time the lanes seem a bit more stable. But right now, Fnatic, how are they going to kill people? That's my concern, because now it seems like the coin is flipped. Because LG Gaming's lineup is now ridiculously hard to kill, since they procured Dragon Knight and Weaver for themselves, and do Fnatic have enough damage to kill them off? So I'm looking for some sort of support that can help set up, or just do a lot of damage.
Yeah, they could have issues with that. I actually wanted to say why Timber was banned. Timber versus DK in mid lane is like the least fun for DK you'll ever have as that hero, except against like OD and maybe Bat. So that was just protecting the DK mid, pretty much, and that gave away that DK was definitely mid. Naga Siren, solid against Weaver. That's literally the only thing I see so far, aside from the minus armor for DK. But Fnatic doesn't have any physical damage to begin with, so I don't see why that would be that relevant. Could be a farming Naga, could be a support Naga, we don't know yet. Probably a support, because I think most teams favor her as support nowadays.
Yeah, and he also called that, so.
I called that like a year ago. We were casting the International 2. I was like, why are they running her as a carry? But at least she had more base damage back then, so. Anyhow, Earthshaker. And LGD's gaming, or I always say gaming when we're looking at this logo. LGD's lineup is becoming a lot more clear. They're just going for easy to execute team fight. Like, guaranteed stuns from DK and Earthshaker. Visage has pretty guaranteed damage and slows, and Weaver just cleans up the rest.
So right now, not only do LGD have a bit more easier access, but they also have a lot of range. And I mean, Batrider has a good range himself, Naga has a good range himself. But again, during the duration of Naga's sleep and you set up to surround somebody, can you really kill anybody outside of LGD aside from the Earthshaker? I don't know. So LGD Gaming's draft, I feel like, is a lot better than it was previously, but I mean, I don't really know what to expect with Fnatic at the moment, because it still can go both ways in my opinion.
Definitely. And I'm not actually entirely sure why the... Okay, now that Naga makes more sense. Fnatic's just going for mass AoE damage. Yeah, definitely. Look, they got the OD ult, they got the Batrider, they got Naga Siren, and they got the Lich. I'm guessing their last pick is going to be just like a big AoE damage carry. Gyro would have been the most sense, or made the most sense, but he's banned. They could run a farming Naga Siren and get like a Disruptor or something and just go for the 2-carry build. Or 2-carry strat, but I don't know.
Well, considering it's Fnatic and they like to run triple core.
Yeah. Well, Batrider's a core,
yeah.
But he's not really a carry, you know?
Yeah, so right before this ban, after these bans come through, we'll pause it for a little bit and just analyze it a bit more. Because I want to talk about Earthshaker a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, me too.
So, I mean, right now, these are just going through. LGD Gaming, they're banning out the Sand King. They recognized Fnatic want to go for that AoE teamfight specialty, and they ban out a strong teamfight here on the form Sand King. Fnatic banned out the Lone Druid. So we're going to pause right here and talk a little bit more about the picks and bans. So LGD Gaming, they picked up the Earthshaker. Earthshaker, I mean, Navi seemed to love using him in this international. And the thing about Earthshaker is that he just has a really lot of range. And I like Earthshaker played a lot more these days because in the months before when Earthshaker's played, he would not get any levels whatsoever. He'd roam and then he'd stay at level 5 like 50 minutes in. But these days, I like Earthshaker's presence a bit more because he actually gets a little bit of time to farm up. But LG, you have to land him with a Visage, who is, again, another experience-dependent support. And I guess Earthshaker, he doesn't need that much experience. All he needs is, I guess, Blink Dagger by 25 minutes, and that's good enough.
Well, I'm pretty sure the reason they picked him wasn't actually for the AoE ult. It was to stop Batrider. When Bat goes on someone, Earthshaker can stand way in the side, way in the back, and fissure immediately. And then the initiation's over. It's done. So Shaker's a really good counter to that. It's just a lot of teams avoid Shaker for the laning thing. But if you're doing an unchallenged safe lane, I think Shaker's a pretty solid pickup. Also, the reason why I don't think he was picked for his ult so much was because they picked him after Naga Siren was picked. Which means, like, Naga Siren's so good at just stopping Shaker combos and stuff. Like, he goes and deals the damage, use Song, mech up, and just reinitiate or something. But honestly, yeah, I think it's an anti-bat measure more than a teamfight measure in and of itself.
So what do you think about the Lich pick other than the AoE ultimate? Obviously, you deny experience, you have the Frost Arm in the late game. But Lich doesn't seem very successful these days because he seems like he only has one role, and I don't know if he necessarily does it better than a lot of other heroes. How will Fnatic actually lane this? Will they put Lich in the off lane or put a support Lich?
We have no idea. We don't know yet. Could be anything. They could do Bat in the offlane, farming another carry, and they get a carry that farms and support Naga. They can have Naga be the carry, although I doubt it. They can have Lich be offlane and get another support. Like, there's so many things they can do. It's not even worth thinking about at this point. You just know it's flexible. So I actually like the Lich pickup because Fnatic is trying to get more damage than LGD is capable of dealing with. The only issue that I see, and it's actually a pretty glaring issue, is they're going to have Weaver problems, which doesn't do anything against Weaver. And his Sand King was so smart because it's actually hard lockdown that's also AoE, but Fnatic hasn't got any hard lockdown. Look at this. They got Net, they got Lasso. That's not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to need the Blink Dagger on Bat and Naga Siren. Since at this point we're predicting she could be a support, but she could also be a carry. But she won't always be there to deal with Weaver, especially if Weaver starts split pushing. So we're going to pause in 3, 2, 1 on pause.
Oh yeah, and Scylla banned because he's just way too tanky for Fnatic to be able to deal with.
Yeah, I was about to say another problem is DK. Once you get to BKB, you literally can't touch him with Fnatic Slap unless they run Naga carry. So I think Fnatic have to pick up a carry right here because I don't think Naga is enough to deal with the DK as well as Weaver if both of the LGD carries go for the BKB, and I don't think Fnatic can end the game before LGD Gaming get their BKBs online.
That's an off-lane Windrunner, I think.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right.
Well, it's tricky because I don't think she can lane against it at all, so she's just going to stack Ancients, I guess.
Do you think this could be an aggressive trial-in? So Shadow Fiend will be the last choice for Fnatic.
I think that's a mistake. I think that's a problem.
Alright.
Here's why I don't like it. Okay, obviously what they were thinking of was, yeah, we got the Song into Requiem, we got all the AoE damage, and we got a hard farmer who's capable of bringing people down. That's great. Here's the issue. And that's a safe lane Shadow Fiend, right? Definitely, yeah. I don't think that LGD care. Like, I don't see why they would care about the Shadow Fiend. You get a BKB up on the DK, you get a BKB up on the little bug cockroach thing, right? You can even time-lapse it if you don't get it off. And then they click on him. Shadow Fiend is notoriously awful against DK once you hit late game. Like, mid to mid, SF gets so far ahead, it's ridiculous. But safe lane Shadow Fiend doesn't get that advantage on the DK. So, I don't know. This draft could go either way. I think it's equal. Both teams have issues.
That's actually funny because I'll talk about the outcome of this game later. But I just want to see how the lanes shape up because, again, another possibility for LG Gaming. Even though they don't like to do it, they could put Winner on an aggressive Chan and do Weaver, Dragon Knight safe lane. Although, again, it's LGD, so it seems a little bit less likely. But it looks like Zhao is going to be playing the Windrunner, so he's usually a mid player. So I don't actually know. I'm just going to fast forward a bit to look at the lanes, and then after the lanes are displayed, we can judge completely. So LGD actually did run an aggressive challenge with the Windrunner, and they put the
No, they
Dragon at
didn't.
mid.
No, they didn't. This is smart. They're doing the Chinese thing where it's a 2-1-2, except Earthshaker's in the offlane and he just is a bodyguard. Check it out. I'm at 3 minutes. I should have seen this coming, but I always forget about it because East or Western teams never, ever, ever do this, and it's really smart. It's just ensures that you get a lot, like a decent amount, out of the offlane without losing it, and your support just pulls top.
And it actually looks like Hani went to the safe lane with OD. And Fnatic are dual laning with Lich as well as Era.
Well, I think they wanted to... Well, okay, that's just weird. Shadow Fiend does not need help against that. Actually, I would think that he would do better without the Lich there. Like, I would rather do that without a Lich because you don't need help. Like, you already get so many souls and damage. As long as you have levels on him, you'll kill him, but they won't have that much levels on him, and SF's experience is going to get gimped pretty hard. I thought it was even, and now I'm going to say it's pretty heavily in LGD's favor because of their smart lanes. And the stupid lane from Fnatic, No flame, didn't mean it, but I don't understand why they have Lich mid.
Yeah, maybe they think he couldn't do enough against Earthshaker and Windrunner?
If I was them, I'd move the Lich up top and win top.
I think he stayed mid, if I'm not mistaken, from what I remember from this game, because I did watch this game. Let's just fast forward a little bit more. Yeah, Lich is continuing to stay mid from what I can see.
Yeah.
And Naga.
So I think LGD wins all 3 lanes, and in the sense that they're getting a lot out of the off lane, it's probably going to be pretty close to even. Mid is like there's so much efforts concentrated of Fnatic in mid, except SF isn't getting levels, and DK can just spam Fire Breath, so who cares? And Batrider's getting nothing out of top. So I think this was really clever from LGD, and something other teams should watch out for because they just turned around a draft completely with this, and it was smart.
Well, that just shows you that you can't just look at the draft, but you also have to look at the lanes. And also, I mean, LGD, with LGD you can look at the draft and lanes, but then you have to look at the mid-game and their execution, which is really, really strong because they pick very strong teamfight ultimates. But this game, I don't know if you watched it.
I didn't. I'm guessing LGD won, just based off
it was so heartbreaking as a Fnatic fan, and LGD is a great team, but I am a Fnatic fan. Basically,
oh yeah, I'm seeing the game's really long now. What happened?
I mean, LGD, they got super strong, but Arrow was getting to the point where he really couldn't be stopped. And then LGD, you know, like I guess the path between the tier 2 mid and the tier 2 top, they placed a ward next to the platform there that guards the secret shop. Arrow was getting a Satanic, and Weaver just killed the courier, and then LGD pushed. And if Arrow finished the Satanic, they probably would have won the team fight.
That's hilarious. I think teams should do that more often. Like, yesterday when I was watching Dignitas...
Especially with a Weaver or a Furion.
Yeah. I was like, why aren't they just warding the shop, killing the 2400 item when he buys it, and then winning the game so he doesn't get the rapier? But it's whatever. I mean, that's pretty smart. But yeah, SF gets to a point when he's 6 item is way faster than DK's 6 item, and then he owns... Except then DK gets 6 item too, and then DK outcarries the SF. Like they kind of juggle.
Yeah, but then there was a certain point in the game where the BKs were running out, so OD did more and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and of course OD's going to do huge work. I completely forgot about him. But
and then there's Frost Armor as well. Frost Armor, and I think every time LG tried to initiate, Fly was on top of the sleeps, like his support Naga. Like he got a really fast level 16 on Naga from what I remember. But yeah, I mean this strat seemed pretty even. LGD had the laning advantage, and I think even if Fnatic won the team fight in the mid lane, LGD still could have potentially won, even with the Satanic on Era. So I don't know if that was backbreaking. I think LGD still had the advantage overall, and I think it could be attributed to the lanes.
Well, no, when a game goes 100 minutes, excuse me, when a game goes or like over an hour, that is, I think it's just a close draft. I don't think that the lanes necessarily won or lost it. I think they just gave him an edge,
So you thought the draft was close in the end?
I thought the draft was close, but then I thought the lanes pushed it into LGD's favor.
Yeah, I guess LG probably played a bit too cautious, as they usually do. So maybe that gave Fnatic enough time to catch up. But anyways, thanks for watching. So Fnatic went 1-1 in the series, and blah, blah, blah. We're not going to analyze any more Fnatic drafts, I think, from the prelims. So Fnatic actually made it to the top 4. I think they're in 3rd place. And yeah, so Fnatic in the upper bracket. Looks good for Fnatic at this stage. LGD also made to the upper bracket as well in the 4th place. And we'll be back with the next analysis very soon. Thanks for watching.